All right, there we are.
Oh, hello,
Wow!
Penumbuddies.
I'm getting a transmission from headquarters.
What does the transmission say?
It says that we're not affiliated with the Penumbra podcast and that we're just two fans here to discuss the latest episode.
Even though
Also,
Sophie gave us permission.
yes. Yeah, I guess maybe we don't need that disclaimer every time. Also, I am Rab or Jitterbug Juno. Who are you?
I'm Luna or Healing Steel, or Looney Loo on AO3. I don't know, man. There's a lot of names. I feel like both
Yeah.
of us have several internet names.
Yeah, at least it's better. I think Folo was an okay choice. The worst one when I was in the Voltron fandom, I was Mighty Trash. Try going by Mighty Trash for 4 years.
Oof, oof.
It was not a good long-term plan. But yes,
As
here we
always, you're in
are.
my phone as Rab Cushfuddled. So
My legacy.
every time I call you on Skype, I'm like, what? His name is wrong.
I know it's exactly right.
Ugh.
Rab Cushfuddled is genius.
Mhm. All
Where to
right.
even begin with this?
Can we just start with the music? Because I am now an
Oh,
Anjimile stan from now to forever.
wow, that song. Oh my God.
Oh,
Beautiful.
God. Like,
To my
listeners, if
head.
you haven't, please go listen to more of Anjimile's stuff because they're just unspeakably talented. And, like,
Yes.
my headphones have been broken all week and, like, only one
No!
has been working. And I've still been listening to Anjimile because I'm so obsessed.
That's great. You have a boom box that you bring around with you.
Right?
Yeah. The world must know. Yeah, like usually with these kinds of things where it's like, you have to remember this song. And I'm like, that's so unrealistic. Nobody will remember the song. But then, like, the second that this episode is over, I'm like, "Eee." Like it gets you. I get it. So, like, you did it. You killed me. Good on you, Penumbra.
Penumbra does tropes well.
Hmm.
Like, I don't know, people are like, oh, it's cliche, oh, it's tropey. No, if you do a trope well, you can still have a trope.
Yes, no, I love tropes. I'm literally making a comic. Well, the long form of the name is Chosen the Ultimate Cliche, but it is, in short, just called Chosen. I love cliches. I think they're really fun.
They are, and Chosen is amazing, and y'all should check it out, and will link to it in the bottom of the show notes.
Oh, thank you.
I
Thank
mean,
you.
you usually do the show notes, so you're gonna have to like put it in there, but
It'll
it'll be
be
there now.
self promo.
um, okay, so okay, this episode, like, I'm not. It didn't quite land with me. I it didn't it didn't do everything I wanted it to do. And I wonder how much of that is the episode and how much of that is like me and my bullshit. Um,
Don't call it bullshit. I just am curious to hear what you mean.
okay, so we've had this kind of meta narrative about addiction, cruelty, and redemption.
Mm-hmm.
And Jet really complicates the idea of redemption.
Yeah.
So the characters that we've really spent a lot of time with so far, with Juno and Peter, both have these just, beautiful, shining moral cores.
Yeah.
And they both struggle with it because, Juno feels like his moral core is useless or not. I don't know. Lady's got self esteem problems.
Yeah.
Um, so struggles against that moral core that way. And Peter struggles with feeling like he shouldn't behave in this kind of righteous way. So, and we see Juno. Well, we don't know a ton about Juno's addiction. We know he's an alcoholic. I'm not even going to qualify that. He's an alcoholic, and we've seen Sarah, who is completely unrepentant. Like whatever resolution Juno comes to is in his own mind with that.
Yeah.
But we've never, and with Juno, we don't see, with a few notable exceptions, like Annie Wire's death and the time he broke Rita's monitor, we don't see Juno hurting other people.
Yeah, there was that time with the security guard, but that wasn't on purpose. That was
It wasn't for
another.
like, I mean, I think the thing with Jet is that the atrocity he committed was for no reason.
Yeah, no
We've
reason,
never
and it
seen
was
Juno do a
purposeful.
cruel act like that for no reason.
No. No. Yeah, no.
And so in this kind of game of self-improvement that we see all these characters going through, for Juno and Peter, it's very much like clearing away the things that keep them from their righteous inner selves.
Yeah.
With Jet, we're suddenly confronted with the idea of what can you be forgiven for? What is forgiveness? What is redemption? And what you do if your past is unforgivable. And it's just it's such a radical break with how the show has dealt with people doing bad things before.
Yeah. The concept of self-improvement, self-betterment. There is
Yeah,
always time to get better. Yeah.
yeah. And I mean, Jed is also getting better.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. Like, I personally have a really hard time with, there was a specific quote. I will, I will find it super quick. That Jet said something about being a mess of chemicals that make us who we are.
Yeah. Back when he was still trying to distance himself from being a real person back then. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, but that landed so wrong for me because I feel like, I both my parents have struggled with addiction. I mean, I have generations of addicts in my
Mm.
family. If we're talking genetics alone, I'm screwed. Um, but you hear all the time, X substance made me do it. So, but I didn't see, I wish I had seen a stronger negation of that later.
Yeah. Yeah. Because Jet definitely addressed the fact that he had been saying this whole time that this person is dead. And several times we hear him say, well, no, that was wrong. The person is still alive. And I guess we're supposed to extrapolate from that he's also rescinding the stuff that he talked about in terms of, what makes a human being. But
Mm-hmm.
like, you're right, they didn't like step forward and have a clear, you know, they didn't really tackle that one part. Yeah.
And maybe that's, too much to expect. Maybe I'm just being really sensitive about it or whatever, but like I wish they had. I
Yeah,
think that would be
no.
I think that would get more nuanced cuz what the lesson of the story from Matender
I got you, fam.
I'm so sorry. Matendere. Close enough, I guess. I
You
don't know.
got
I
it.
feel
You're
bad.
fine. We know who you're talking about.
Okay. So like they learned that like good after atrocity is still good,
Yeah. It
and that
doesn't
that
like
can be a
cancel it out, but it is still a good thing. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. um and but Jet already knew that. Jet already had a really good grasp on that because of Buddy.
Yeah. Yeah, what
So
Jet needed to learn was that you can't just totally be a new person. And you can't have total control over who you are and what you do at all times. That doesn't. But yeah, he didn't. I'm going back through the episode of my mind, like, the film reel is rewinding, and I'm
mhm.
really agreeing with you here that addiction was positioned as a big part of what made Jet back then as the unnatural disaster. And we don't get a resolution to that addiction, really, I don't think, because it's not, you can't just lump it in with the moment where the, cathartic moment where Jet reaches out and shakes the hand of his former self and is like, I don't have to, bury you, but I can manage you. Like, addiction, I think you have to, that's a totally different sort of monster to deal with, I feel like. I don't know.
Yeah, because like if he's going to reintegrate parts of the unnatural disaster back into his self-concept,
Yeah.
like I feel like that is going to need to be reckoned with more. Like
Yeah,
what parts
because
are him and what parts are drugs and what.
yeah, because that was a huge part of his identity. Like that's not, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it. It's definitely a little pedantic, I guess, but
No, I think it's really worth discussing because it's just another part of Jet that I think Jet needs to deal with, and it could be really difficult.
season 4, another round.
Yeah, come on. Oh God. Yeah, maybe I won't give up hope and maybe we will get a short conversation between Juno and Jet about their past addiction and, moving forward. Because, yeah, it is a shame to bring that up and then not tie it up. So
Yeah.
that's almost the unfortunate thing, maybe, about only getting 2 episodes per character is that there's kind of this expectation of, okay, they're done now. And it's like,
They're
we,
not.
they're not. They got to work on stuff. So I hope that that's not the end for Jet and
I don't
his,
think it
yeah.
can be.
Yeah.
Okay, can I get all prediction-y now?
You Luna, absolutely.
I just talked a lot, so
I don't care. Go for it.
um
I'll eat my popcorn.
I think that this episode really called back to Soul of the People in some ways.
Yes. I am me. Fuck you. But like it felt
Yeah,
like it was going it was twisting it in a different
it
direction.
was. It was. I don't know, but the echoes of Juno talking about addiction with Mick and Jet talking about addiction. I don't know. I see, like, storytelling wise, especially. Oh God, I'm getting ahead of myself. Can we talk about Agent F
Okay,
or Agent G,
yeah, who
whichever?
the fuck is this agent? I'm so mad. Get out of here.
Thea, 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 Thea.
What?
Think about it. Oh my God. I can't take full credit for this. I saw it, I think, on the Discord, but um, if the Dark Matters agent wasn't plot relevant, why would they have so much dialogue?
I thought they were setting up um that there was a new director of operations, like, probably Sasha, like you suggested earlier, and that they were providing, I don't know, more exposition about what was going on their end and giving some hints about why they might want Matendere and dropping some kind of foreshadowing about how, you know, they didn't want the uh, solar energy wind turbine generator and
The
like kind of,
bottomless battery.
yeah, to establish that like Stark Matters is not actually a good guy right now. But the minute you said Thea, well, 2 things. I was going to ask you later about what makes a human versus what makes a machine in relation to Ruby and Jet, but
My literal
also,
favorite question.
yes, and it's really, I feel like it's really relevant in this episode, but also thinking about Thea's and their mission to save humanity from themselves. So what is dark matter is now taking that upon themselves, like to decide what human has potential to be good and what has potential to be evil, or who is too dangerous. I don't know, maybe we're going forward with that theme again. But what were you thinking? Why are they a Theo? What is your scheme?
Well, they talked so much about calculations and the greater good and the greatest good.
Ooh.
And I'm trying to find the quotes.
This is uncomfy.
Right, right.
Fuck. So
There
is
can
it
be no
yeah.
peace and no progress if our galaxy does not feel like a safe place to live, don't you think?
Ooh.
That was
Ooh.
the old line of thinking, but new calculations suggest otherwise. Right?
Ooh. Okay, now, that actually makes me a lot happier as a theory because I was sitting on the floor like, but wait, if this is new dark matter is under Sasha, which I guess is still a theory, but come on, like then we would have to blame Sasha for the death of Matendere. Like that's not great. So
Mm-hmm.
like now I'm thinking, ooh, if Dark Matters is overrun by fucking Theabots, then Sasha is doing her best to like overthrow that. That would be really fun.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the big plot thread from last season that was never resolved was Newtown.
Yeah, what the fuck
There were
happened with
extra
those extra
million
people?
residents in Newtown.
Yeah, where did they come from?
Where did they go?
Where did they come from, Cotton Eye Joe?
I know. I knew that was where that was going. Uh, I set it up. You hit it out of the park.
I'm sorry, I had to run with it.
I understand. So
Oh,
yes, I think that we have not seen the last of the Thea. I really think that Agent What's Her Face was Theified, and
fuck.
this has been Luna's Theory Corner.
I love it. If it's not, you've converted me. I'd believe that. If it's not, then I think thematically it works really well as well, just to, you know, continue on with that theme of what makes the greater good and who are we to decide what is safe for people and things like that. So,
Mm.
yes, that's exciting.
So do you want to talk about the machine question now?
I would love to. I'm just so intrigued by this question. Like, there were so many different things swirling around in this episode, but the fact that Jet and Matendere, like, Jet says that he built that man, like, when he refers to his old self, as though he were just another, like, I don't know, failed mechanic project.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, and then there's this back and forth about what actually makes a person and whether they're just a collection of chemicals. And then there's the freaking Ruby 7, which, hi, where did that come from? Where the Ruby 7, there's a question of like sentience now. and, like, and you have like this, I mean, Jet is very like as a character up until I think the Tools of Rust has been presented as a pretty sort of robotic person. Like he has a
Mm-hmm.
sense of humor, but still very monotone. And like in giving himself and working in tandem with this machine, this car, we hear Jet actually start to, have more of a personality behind his voice. And I know that's not just because like he collaborated with this car. I know there's a lot there about how the car, represents, whatever life instinct, I don't know, and but there's just something there, and I don't know where it's going, and it harkens back to me the whole Thea thing again, like you just mentioned. So I'm very curious about what you think about humanity and machines, if that wasn't wide enough a question.
Oh, oh my goodness. I think it's a huge question. And honestly, I think no podcast answers it better than Wolf 359.
Ooh, I still haven't checked out that podcast.
Um, Honestly, listeners, if you have, please come yell with me about A, addiction, and B, the ending.
Well,
Just
now I gotta catch up so I can yell at you.
yes, please, please. I didn't get to yell about it much when it first happened, and I gotta. Um yeah. So I think it's a very classic sci-fi question. The what makes a human versus what makes a machine. And I think in some ways this episode is more referencing that in science fiction than it is trying to answer it.
Yeah.
Because I think us realizing that Ruby is a little sentient is a different question than questioning how sentient Ruby is.
That's true. Like, I feel like the Ruby 7 was set up as a bit of a mystery that will be, if not resolved, then more pieces will come together later, just for the way they were handling,
Mm-hmm.
every new piece of information as like a new droplet, a new piece of the puzzle. But yeah, that makes a lot of sense that they're not, that they're just referencing. That makes sense.
Yeah, but I think it's also important, like the themes you noticed about like talking about building yourself, talking about taking yourself apart. Um, like I keep thinking about Matendre. Oh, I did it. Um,
Yeah.
Matendere's machines and how they're built specifically not to work. And he
Yeah.
calls it, or they call it a political protest against them by themselves for themselves,
It's beautiful.
which is great. That's
Yeah.
such a Kevin line. um, and I think Rita frames it actually and says something like, yeah, and Matendre is trying to figure out if something has to be useful to be good.
Yeah, and so that works for both machines and people, of course.
Yeah, and because I think Jet believes yes. Jet like I mean argue with me if you want, but I think Jet does believe that like the way for him to be good, the capital G good,
Yeah.
is to do good things and be useful.
That's so interesting hearing you say that because I always thought that that was something that Juno struggled with. Like that was my
Yeah.
understanding of, yeah, that was like my skeleton key. That was how I approached Fix, was thinking to myself, like my rule was before, the end of season 2, Juno needs to feel like he is doing good and that he is useful to humanity because otherwise he doesn't deserve to exist. Like Ben is dead, and he is dead because his mother thought that he was him. And so
Ooh,
he's just constantly proving to himself that he has a right to be alive and that he can help people. And so to hear that concept be brought up with Jet is so it's
but
so sad.
right? But I think with Jet, like it's more correct.
I mean, it is. It's not like a messy situation. He literally killed those people. Here we are back to that.
Yeah. I also thought that the episode was going to go into because they were so shook by the 15 people, like it kept being repeated. But Matendre is just as responsible for the millions and millions of deaths they caused,
Yeah.
um, as they are responsible for the 15 people killed in front of them. And
Yeah.
I feel like in a lot of narratives you have a moment of, you know, these 15 are worth no more than the ones you didn't see. And I don't think this episode had that.
Yeah, like they referenced a couple times, I think, that like Matendre brought it up. Like, and those were only like, 15. I could have, if my weapon had gone to the front lines, it would have killed hundreds. And then they do mention hundreds or hundreds of thousands or millions that they did kill. But yeah, I think they really do focus on that 15 because I think it is really a two sides of the same coin story. And
Mm-hmm.
so they wanted to probably, my theory is that they wanted to focus in on the moment of connection between those two characters. And so deviating from that and really kind of leaning into the fact that Matendere is a, like, killed millions of people is that it would stop making them so relatable, I think, to Jet.
Mm-hmm.
I
Okay,
don't,
I see that. Yeah,
yeah.
that makes sense.
But it is a huge difference. And like maybe that is a problem is that we spend this whole time comparing these two characters and watch them like sort of meet in the middle and like realize through each other their separate truths, but maybe they aren't actually that similar.
Yeah. And I wonder, if Matendere hadn't died, like I don't know. Come on, y'all. Give me some fix.
Yeah, yeah. Oh God, yeah. Please, Pendere. Oh my God. I mean,
Right? Right.
let them build the generator. Let them have the fairy tale. I guess it's not realistic, but fanfic is there for a reason.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Oh God.
speaking of Matendere's death, can we talk
Yes.
Rita for a second?
Oh my God. Poor Rita.
Like, Rita's just Rita. She
Rita's
watched
been through a
Matendere
lot, baby.
die.
I think she had her eyes on, she heard it, I'm sure. At least she was looking away, I think, but oh my God. Oh.
She, I don't know, like, I feel like it's really setting us up to be more present with how things affect Rita.
Oh, I would love that. Because we really hear her struggling with the reality of being a thief in this episode.
Yeah,
So, yeah, this isn't fun and games, and people could die, and they do.
yeah. And Rita's usually been a step removed from that.
Yeah, Rita's
Not
always been
always, but
the
usually.
yeah. I mean, even in this episode, and I love it. I love like Rita's little asides, like Rita's dire situation. This is Rita. Like I needed those. I needed those. Like I needed air, but yeah. Now there's in between those. Like, oh, this isn't. We're cutting back to Rita, and it's not a moment of comedy relief. Like Rita's in this too, and Rita's having a bad time.
Yeah, yeah.
God.
I just, it makes me really excited to get a Rita episode.
Yes, I'm so pumped. I bet that'll be the last one, but uh...
Well, after part one of Tools of Rust came out, I did do a big meta about how I think the order of POVs is going to go.
I think I saw that. Is the blade next? So are we gonna get Vespa?
The Blade is next, so I would bet Vespa.
Vespa, Vespa, Vespa. And then
Please, for the love
what's
of
the
God,
last one? We have is it the book?
the book, which my guess is going to be Rita.
That would be wonderful. I mean, she is the knowledge source. Like who do you
Yeah.
call when you need info? You call Rita.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
then, but then we have, so season one was 7 Juno stories. Season two was 10, but that's, we're not getting 10.
That would ow.
Yeah. So if we get 6, we only have 4 items to get.
Yes.
So that's not the whole crew.
No.
So we're going to have at least 2 episodes more.
And
Then
yeah.
after the book.
Okay. And then the last one has to be Juno. We have to get back to Our Lady. It's happening.
Yes, we have to have a Juno episode.
Yeah.
Please, Caber. Please. I miss Juno so much.
I know. I miss a baby.
Someone did a Tumblr post today that was like, the reason we're not hearing much from Juno is that he's busy having lots and lots of sex.
Well, that's fair. I wouldn't want to hear that.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
I'll just wait until he's done. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'll have my little book.
Yeah. The characters, while I appreciate the intention, sound real gross.
Yeah, yeah. Amen. Amen.
I really appreciate that they're there, but
That
they do sound like someone's chewing gum in your ear.
I know. Yes, I really I really like that I can hear them kissing, but I agree wholeheartedly. I think that assessment is apt. That
Thank you.
they're having
Uh,
wild, yeah, it's wonderful. I'm glad. I'm very proud of them.
yeah.
I'm looking through my notes to find something.
Ooh,
Hmm.
want to talk Outer Rim for a second?
Yes. What else did we learn about the war?
I am considering like pulling together a war timeline, a like Earnmark's big old timeline.
You should. You should make like a Polygon-esque video that's like you trying to
Oh
put together.
God. Podcast equivalent of Brian David Gilbert.
Please, please.
Ah,
Whatever kind of visual you can make. I don't know.
yeah.
If you could figure out some kind of timeline, that would be super helpful.
Right? I think it would be. I think we've gotten enough clues at this point that it would be worth doing. But
Yes.
I just need a free weekend.
Yeah. Amen.
Yeah. So in this episode, we learned that people on the Outer Rim are living a much less technologically advanced life, and are dying because of a lack of power.
Yes.
So,
Which is fucked up.
second
Very
dark
relevant.
was the way Matendre put it.
Oof. Yeah, very apt, very apt.
But if you remember, Buddy said that we are going to the Outer Rim next. This is the last stop on the solar planets.
I'm so ready to enter the darkness. Yeah, let's find out what the hell is going down on ground zero.
Right?
Oof.
And we've got. I don't. I'm not sure like what the plan is like in terms of what where they're going to go directly, because we've got a couple of options that have been mentioned. Because if you remember, the Cerberus province was referenced like mid season one. I think it was in Train from Nowhere.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah, Train from Nowhere. They were like, we're gonna bring it to the Cerberus province, and like Juno's like, but that's a den of thieves. What the fuck?
and Peter's like, yeah, I'm a thief. Yeah, and now Juno is also gay and doing crimes.
Yeah, so what can you do?
Yeah, yeah.
A lot has changed.
It's true. It's true.
So we're going on an adventure
Yeah.
to the Outer Rim. It's gonna be probably painful, but also fun. Yes. I
Oh,
just
quick.
really yes, what?
Go ahead. Go ahead. No.
Now you go.
No, you.
Oh, fine. It's just I'm backtracking, but I looked at my notes and I have in all caps, Jet is the other half of the song of destruction. I mean,
Explain.
like the fact that Matendere has this song that can make like their weapons just self-destruct and be useless. And the fact that Jet is given that and not only memorizes it, but is imagining what it would have sounded like if Matendere had been able to continue it. So Jet is making, in his own way, I think, the other half of this song that is creating peace out of destruction. And it just works, I think, so well with the themes of the episode and the fact that they're, halves or presented as halves of the same sort of, problem, the bomb and the person who sets off the bomb. And now they're both working together to make things
May I
right.
add something that's going to make you even sadder?
Uh-huh.
um, Matendere put that song in place after Jet robbed them. The
Wow.
reason that Matendere's weapons have a self-destruct button
It's because
is
of
Jet.
Jet. The song is there because of
So
Jet.
the terrible things that Jet has done may help them, end
Yeah.
sickness.
God. Yeah, God, that speech of it will be good and that must be enough. That's all we had. Whoa.
Yep. I wish that
Whoa.
we had Buddy and Jet interacting at the end of the episode. I think that would have put a
Yeah.
good button on it.
Oh, because Buddy was, God, such an integral part, it sounds like, of Jet's recovery.
Yeah.
They really did save each other.
I'm really interested in a buddy centric episode
Mm-hmm.
because at this point she's kind of set herself up as vaguely therapeutic to everyone on board.
Yeah, it's really gonna be difficult for Buddy to like I really that's Buddy is the kind of person I want to be where like cuz there's this fantasy, right, of being the mom friend but in a way that has solid boundaries. So like you're not playing everybody's therapist.
Right. Wouldn't
It's
that
like
be
is that
amazing?
yeah, it's like is that even possible? Like because Buddy has even said like I don't know, Gina said something along the lines of you're what are you, my therapist? And Buddy said like not for all
There's
the
not
creds in
enough
the
credits in the
universe, Gina.
galaxy,
Yeah.
darling.
So she's conscious of the fact that she doesn't want to have that role, but I think you're right. I think like she does. So yeah, I'm very eager to see what she thinks about that if we do.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Yeah. But you
But
were going to say something earlier and I wanted to cry about Jet. So what were you going to say?
oh Jesus. Do I remember? Probably not. Uh what did Matendere do to piss off the solar government?
Yes, was it really that they were just making this thing or
Is it the battery? Is it the off switches?
yeah, did
Like,
the Thea just decide that their potential was too dangerous? What is the
no,
truth?
the solar government has been pissed at them for years since
Hmm.
the war ended. Dark Matters has been pissed at them for an afternoon.
And, well, I guess dark matters get stuff done.
Guess so. Yeah, so I can't wait to hear more about the solar government and about, I don't know, geopolitics just fascinates me. It's great.
It's gonna happen. We're gonna get it. I'm very excited.
Yep.
Oh, can I give a quick
This is
anecdote?
Sasha Watch 2020.
We need one of those blogs that's like day one, no Sasha Wire. Day two, no Sasha Wire. I'm gonna
You
make
say this
one.
and yet. Well, with the Magnus Archives, the Has Martin Blackwood said fuck yet
Yeah.
log. I think it
And
only took
yet
them 21 days.
it only took them 21 days.
Yes.
Oh my god, I thought it was around for longer. I
No.
Oh, I was so proud. I was
Yeah,
so
that was
glad
good.
that we got to hear
And then
that.
Johnny Sins was like, they didn't know it was a countdown.
Yeah, oh sweet summer child. You don't know your days are numbered.
Anyway,
God, I
we're
just gotta.
gonna. Is there anything else you want to address on the episode, or do you want to move to our new segment?
Well, just really quickly, I have to give an anecdote of how incredibly happy I was, of course, being ace to hear that Jet Sikuliak is fucking an ace pilot. And
He's an
I,
ace pilot. He's an ace
yeah,
pilot.
and I just like that was the funny thing. Luna already knows this, but hey, Penumbuddies, I was in my kitchen and I was listening to the episode for notes, and I heard the line about how Jet doesn't, feel things romantically for anybody, and I managed to write down ace pilot jet with like 3 underlines. And that was when the pain hit me. And
Oh
I had been,
no.
yeah, I'd been experiencing like intense pain over the course of the past 2 weeks, but it became debilitating. And I was like, oh, I need to go to the ER. And so I left. And I can read that as 2 ways. One, the revelation was just so powerful that my body just shut down. It couldn't handle that. Or it was like one of those action movies where like the scientist figures out the like most pressing question, but they're taken out by an assassin before they can finish their work. So
Wow.
that's
Wow.
how powerful Jet Kuliak's aceness is. It
That's
literally sent me
entirely
to the
accurate.
hospital.
He,
All
oh
right,
my,
but I'm ready to go to the next segment if you are.
just Jet.
Just
Sorry. Okay. So we've decided that we're gonna highlight some lovely fics from the Penumbra AO3 tag. And I think Rab had a couple that you wanted to talk about.
Fic Corner, Fic Corner, Fic Corner. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited. Yeah. Um, yeah, I'll just really quickly list out. I read these last 2 weeks. I have read a fic called "To Give It a Name" in parentheses "To Give It Space and Time" by One Tired Boy, and it's one of my favorite fics. Like in terms of the whole Juno and Peter stuck underground in Miasma's lair, that kind of niche.
Mm-hmm.
It's just really touching and heart wrenching. And I almost didn't read it because I knew it would make me really upset, and it
Oh.
did. But it was very much worth it. And so yeah, I recommend that. All these will be in the description. And then I also read To Work the Dust, and I can't pronounce this person's AO3 name. It is like Anamnesis, and I can't unending. I can't.
Anemesis?
Yes,
Anemesis?
yes, yes, an anemone. But that was more relevant to this episode. It was just a introspective uh, piece about Jet and Peter, which we didn't. A lot of people on Tumblr have been bringing up the fact that Jet probably doesn't like Peter because Peter reminds him of his former self, which I think is really interesting. There was someone on someone even mentioned the fact that Jet would probably be really unhappy watching Peter have this moral core and be pushing it away, like you talked about it, when Jet
Mm-hmm.
is struggling so hard to kind of pull that inward. So it was just a really nice moment between them with T, and yeah, I'd recommend that highly. So
Amazing.
those are my recs.
So lately, I have been writing a foster care AU
Oh
for my.
yeah, I also recommend Up the Wolves. Read Up the
Oh,
Wolves.
I wasn't recommending my own fic,
But read
but
Up the Wolves anyway.
nerds. Um, I so I'm gonna focus on fics involving kids. I'm a real sucker for like Juno interacting with children, so I'm gonna recommend Duress by Squid Bitch. And Squid Bitch has been posting for like years now.
I love
Just
Squid Bitch.
oh
God fucking
my god.
bless.
Oh, they comment nice things on my fics because we have kind of
Yes.
similar angst levels.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, that one is like a kid, like Juno finding a kid on a mission and having to bring the kid aboard the carte blanche, and I'm into it. And then the other one that I am love is let me make sure I'm getting the title right. Cold for Years by Purple Buttons 0203.
I feel like I've
Uh,
heard of this one.
and it's a kid fic where Juno is de-aged. And well,
Oh, that's that one. Okay.
yeah, it's really good. and I would really like for it to update, please.
I'm crossing my fingers for everybody.
Yeah, yeah, but
Got my fingers
it's
crossed.
just very well written in terms of like getting into the crew's reactions and what Baby Juno is thinking.
Oh.
Yeah. Um, yeah, so if there's a fic that you want us to rec, or if you have any like thoughts or feelings about the episode or about what we're doing or whatever, give us, I don't know, message us on Tumblr, leave a
Yeah, shoot
comment
us a comment. Yeah.
on the YouTube.
Yeah, please send me fics for me to read in general. I'm always starved for more penumbra fic.
We all. And
Yeah.
the tag has been sadly a little empty lately. It's
I
picking up.
know. Yeah, like but when the episodes come out, it was we enjoyed a large influx, I think, when in Glass came out, and then it
Yes,
slowly stopped. And I'm like, no, come back.
it's a trickle.
Yes.
Anyway, yeah. So just let us know what you think, what you want to hear, and always like share sad headcanons with me because they're my jam.
We love you, Penumbuddies.
Bye.
Bye.